Hi, my name is Justin McCormick, and I'm here representing Premier Tile Corporation, and we're going to show you the Wedi shower system today. Wedi has been around for about 35 years. It is a German-made product. What makes this particular pan unique is that it is made out of an XPS foam. It's a closed-cell foam. So what that means is if you look at this product under a microscope, it looks like a bunch of honeycomb cells all stacked on top of each other. So you could penetrate one of those cells, but you can't get past that cell. So it's like the hull of a ship. They break it up into sections so that if one section floods, it's contained into that one area. The pan itself is 27-pound density, so it's a very strong, durable pan.
By 27-pound, is that an industry standard? Or is that an industry standard nomenclature? Pounds per what?
Pounds per square foot.
Okay.
Okay. Your typical other pans, the USGs and the Schlutters are around that 2.7 to 3.5 density. What makes this pan so strong is it embeds a synthetic resin mortar along with a fiberglass mesh on top of this system to give it its strength and its body. It does have a 1/4 inch or 2% slope integrated into the pan. All Wedi pans can be used with large format tile. They're actually broke up into quadrants. So this particular pan that we're looking at is actually a 4-quadrant pan. So if you drew from your corner to the corner of your drain, you have 4 quadrants. So you can actually take a 24 by 24 tile and have just 4 pieces of tile on this particular pan with 4 grout joints.
Gotcha.
Eliminating grout issues.
What is the smallest tile that you can put?
The smallest tile that you can do on here without having to epoxy set it is a 2 by 2.
Okay.
Okay. When you get smaller than that or into pebbles, you need to epoxy.
Gotcha.
Okay. The way that the drain is connected is your standard compression fitting.
So this would be the same type of a fitting that you would use on like a
fiberglass pan.
Perfect. So it's the same as the fiberglass pan then.
Absolutely.
Got it.
The particular drain that we're looking at right here for the Fundo Primos, this is a residential drain. They do have cast iron and copper fittings as well for commercial jobs.
Gotcha.
Okay. The way that this drain assembly gets integrated into the pan is we've got Wedi joint sealant. Okay. Wedi joint sealant is a polyether xylene, so it's a little bit above a urethane on the sealant scale. Okay. You would take the sealant and you would put a little bead of 1/4 inch bead into the bottom track of that assembly there.
Okay.
Your drain would get tied into there, twist it on to make sure that you get your sealant oozing out.
Okay.
Flip your drain around, and on the back side, you've got a rubber ring and you've got a plastic ring.
Got it.
Rubber ring goes on first. Plastic ring, the only reason we have that is to stop the rubber ring from binding up when we
Right, so it's kind of like a slip ring.
Exactly. We've got our clamping collar. Gonna screw that on. No tools, only hand tighten, and for you Goliaths out there, don't over tighten it.
So do you want some squeeze out on the other side? Does that kind of give you your...
You will get a little bit, but when you put this in and twist it, that oozes.
Okay, that's what gives you the oozing.
That's what gives you your oozing.
Gotcha.
And you simply take your finger and you'll just smooth that out.
I'm gonna come on over here to this one here.
Just like you see here, that sealant is covering that seam and protecting any water from collapsing down into there. Okay. The next process, so now that you've got your assembly glued in, you've got it screwed onto the back.
Yep.
You've already dry fitted your pan. You know that it's going to fit into your area.
Right.
You're going to have your pipe coming up through the ground, right? From the floor.
Yep.
For this particular series, and all their series are different on where you cut the drain at. For this particular Fundo Primo, you would cut the pipe even to 1/8 of an inch above your finished subfloor.
Okay. So even to 1/8 above.
Above your finished subfloor.
The finished subfloor. So not this, but you take your bare subfloor that you have and put a 1/8 inch spacer piece, slice it, and that's where it needs to be.
That's where you need to be.
So it's subfloor plus 1/8.
Yep.
Perfect.
So that'll be down into there like that. Now, sometimes because this is plastic and this is rubber, it doesn't want to slide on very good.
Sure.
So you can either take some spit, you can take some hand sanitizer, some lotion, something that is going to evaporate out just to get that twisted on.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to show you this outside of the pan so that you guys can get an idea.
Let me show
You want this rubber flange, if it's cut correct, the rubber flange should be just about a 1/16 below the top of your PVC pipe.
See
what
that?
That's going to do is that's going to allow for when the compression fitting collar goes on there, it's going to allow for that rubber flange to compress against the pipe and not compress up against and want to push up.
Gotcha.
Okay? So for sake of this, there is, if you want to zoom in there is a lip on the bottom that does not allow that rubber fitting to go any further down. Okay?
Yep, I see it.
If you get that rubber fitting all the way down and your pipe is more than a 1/16 above that, you need to do some adjusting. Take the pan back up, cut your drain, do what you need to do.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, so we have that in, and then I take it that we have a compression ring.
Yep. So you can see the top of that rubber ring is beveled.
Yep.
The inside of this is slightly beveled. That matches up to that.
Got it.
Okay?
Then when it squeezes in,
it compresses that around that pipe.
gotcha. So basically this pan is a tile ready fiberglass base. I mean, I'm gonna equivalent that. It's just like if you went with a Fiat base that wasn't tile ready. It uses that same type of a clamp style drain.
Yep.
So it's really no different than if you had a one-piece unit going in and then we're just going to tile the walls.
Absolutely. And you going back to that fiberglass unit, this shower system can be showered in just the way it is. It would not have to be tiled if you did not want to. You can just tile. You can shower the way it is.
So something happens and the tile's the wrong tile. We have the system in place, and they could use it for the next 3-4 weeks before the tile came in. Is that what you're thinking? Okay.
Absolutely. If they needed to, if it was a, say an elderly couple, and that was the only shower in their house, and they needed to be showering, they could go to a hotel. Absolutely. With this sealant.
Yep.
It's tile ready after 30 minutes.
Okay.
It's flood test ready after 2 hours.
Okay.
After you do your last bead of sealant, 2 hours later, you can flood test that shower.
Okay.
Okay.
So what's the next, how do you then mount this to your subfloor? Do we have to put mortar in, or is it?
Yep, these pans are all going to be set with a modified thin set. Any modified thin set, doesn't matter what brand it is, as long as it's modified.
Got it.
Now, depending on your substrate, this here is a 3x3 pan. You can get away with a 3/8 inch trowel, 3/8 by quarter. You do want to back butter your pan.
Right.
You want to trowel your floor.
Right.
Just like when you're setting tile, it's essential that your trowel marks are all going one way.
Right, it's because we want that air to be released.
Absolutely. Yep. So you would set this to your substrate with mortar, which would, at that time, would bring your pipe up into your pan.
Yep.
Stand on it, compress it down into your mud, get it worked in. That's when you would install that clamping ring.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Okay, so we have all that down. Let's talk about how we put our walls together.
Okay. You'll notice there is a 1/2 inch deep by 1/2 inch wide track in here.
Yep.
Standard walls are going to be 1/2 inch thick wall board. Okay. With this Wedi sealant, you will fill that track with what we call an internal bead of sealant.
Okay.
At that point, you would put your first board down into that sealant, making sure that the seam between your wall board and your pan, that you can see sealant coming up. Doesn't necessarily have to be oozing out, but you have to be able to see the sealant.
Right.
Okay? That at that point is your internal bead.
Okay.
So if this was our first wall we would put up, the only thing we're doing is the internal bead. But now I go to this piece. Wedi's saying is wherever there's blue, there's glue. Okay?
Okay.
So here's blue, on the edge is gonna be blue. So since this piece has a blue end and it's going into a gray end, I also have to run an internal bead going up as well.
Okay.
Okay? After I've done that process for the whole entire shower, now I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do an external bead on every seam.
And so what do we do with the external bead? I see that it looks like it's well tooled right there.
It is well tooled. Wedi came out with this corner putty knife. Highly recommended that you use their putty knife. If you look at the end there, it is slightly beveled in.
Yep.
Okay?